on Capitol Hill for a 3-week pre-election spring. One of the big things on the agenda, getting the government funded and avoiding a shutdown.
We spoke with Congressman Frank Lucas about what he wants to see accomplished and some other issues that he's been weighing in on.
Well, first and foremost, we've got 2.5 weeks before we're supposed to break until after the general election. We need to fund the federal government. That's the federal government's part of transportation and education. It's the farm bill stuff. It's also the Department of Defense. Funding those programs are critically important. You know, I represent an ag district as well as an energy and Main Street kind of a district. So we need to either extend the present farm bill that will begin to expire at the end of September or pass a new one. I'd prefer a new one, but extension's probably what we're going to get. We have to fund the federal government. We cannot shut the government down. I've been around long enough to know that when you're the majority, as we are on the Republican House side, we get total blame, whether it was our fault or not. And besides, it disrupts business, it disrupts people's lives. It's just so counterproductive.
You had a bill that you authorized that really caught my eye, and I think it caught a lot of people's attention when you authored that bill pushing to reauthorize NASA. And you've had a lot of comments publicly about the space race, how this isn't about necessarily planting a flag on the moon and just getting there. This is about creating some long-term thought process to think about how this is going to go. I'd love to get your thoughts at first on the bill and then how you feel the next, you've said 50 to 250 years, sort of how you think that could play out.
Space is the next frontier, as the old sci-fi movies and shows talk about. It is our future. It is the off-world, and we are engaged in a space race with the Chinese. This is not like the Russians when I was a little kid, the race to see who could plant a flag on the moon first. This is about controlling the military and economic high ground. This is about who gets to mine the asteroids that are out there and use those resources both in Earth and on orbit. This is about who goes back to the moon or gets to the moon again first and on to Mars. The reauthorization is a 5-year bill to spell out to NASA where they should prioritize their resources. Back to the moon, on to Mars, a practical space station around the moon, facilities to come and go from Mars. Now, these are things that take time. I acknowledge that. But in the space race, you're talking about consequences of the next 5 years or 50 years or 150 years from now.